Our top story on Gravitas tonight. In Gaza, Palestinians are being bombed, starved and driven out of even their tents by the Israeli army. Whole neighborhoods are now ghost towns. And the United States? It's just watching it all unfold in real time. It is, as usual, backing Israel. The United States has reissued its unwavering support for Israel, even as missiles rain down on Gaza and Palestinians bleed. On Monday, Israel struck and brought down a 16-story Al-Ghafari tower, the tallest building in the Palestinian enclave. What's shocking is that residents were given just 1 hour to evacuate, 1 hour to flee their homes, 1 hour before Israel carried out its strike. Now, Israel said that the building served to hide terrorist infrastructure. No casualties were reported there, but elsewhere in the city, at least 16 Palestinians were killed as buildings crumbled under Israeli fire. Now, Israel says that it is targeting Hamas infrastructure, but pictures from the ground tell a different story. 2 years on, whole neighborhoods in Gaza are wiped out. Palestinians return home to dust and rubble. Palestinian families are returning to shattered homes only to find ghost towns. The Israeli army has pulled back from Khan Yunis, declaring Hamad's city a safe zone. But what residents have come back to is rubble and eerie silence. Entire apartment blocks, once home to thousands, are now hollow shells. Visuals show displaced Palestinians sifting through debris, setting up tents. They mourn the lives lost and the memories erased. All this while U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited Israel and once again reissued Washington's steadfast support for its ally, calling for the eradication of Hamas, which is the stated goal often cited by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to justify the constant bombardment of Gaza.
People of Gaza deserve a better future, but that better future cannot begin until Hamas is eliminated. That better future and that kind of peace is not even possible until the hostages are released, all of them, every single one. And so that's what we continue to be focused on. That's what the president wants to see happen. And that's what you can count on our unwavering support and commitment to see come to fruition.
Now, Netanyahu said Rubio's visit was a clear message the United States stands with Israel. He praised U.S. President Donald Trump for backing him, calling him the greatest friend that Israel has ever had.
Presence here in Israel today is a clear message that America stands with Israel. You stand with us in the face of terror, in the face of the incredible, I would almost say, Middle Ages lies that are directed against us, the rising anti-Semitism in the world, and the really the weak governments that are putting pressures on us because they collapse under the pressure of Islamist minorities and incredible vilification.
Now, as calls for a Palestinian state grow louder across the globe, Rubio warned that Western nations' actions only embolden Hamas. Rubio said he would discuss with Netanyahu Israeli plans to seize Gaza City and the Palestinian territory's largest urban center. He also said he will discuss with Israeli government its plans to annex parts of the occupied West Bank in hopes of precluding a Palestinian state. Rubio said that Trump wanted the Gaza war to be finished, which would mean the release of hostages and ensuring that Hamas is no longer a threat. But hopes for talks diminished once again last week when the Trump administration was caught off guard by an Israeli attack in Qatar to eliminate Hamas leaders who were meeting to discuss a new U.S. ceasefire proposal for Gaza. Now, Rubio said that Washington would continue to tell Qatar to press on with its efforts as an intermediary in the Gaza war. All this as Gaza continues to suffer. The health ministry in Hamas-run Gaza said that the Israelis were pushing more people into the already overcrowded Al-Mawasi, an area which lacks the basics such as food, water, and where disease is spreading exponentially. This conflict continues to devastate ordinary Palestinians. In recent days, Israel has expanded its operation and intensified strikes across Gaza City. So far, Israel's retaliatory offensive has killed over 64,900 Palestinians. And Gaza today is a land of ruins. And for those returning, home no longer exists. And have Mossad and Qatar's intelligence agency been cooperating? We ask you this because when Israel announced last week that it had targeted senior Hamas leadership inside Qatar, one name was notably absent from this official narrative: Mossad. Israel's top spy agency that has overseen major overt operations across the globe ever since the country's formation in 1948. So then, why did Israel's spy agency step back from such a major operation? Mossad reportedly even prepared a plan for assassination of Hamas leaders on Qatari soil, but ultimately refused to carry it out. Now, according to reports, Mossad chief David Barnea opposed this move, as it could potentially damage the relationship Mossad had built with Qatar. As you know, Qatar has long hosted Hamas figures while serving as a mediator in ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza war. And without Mossad, Israel shifted its strategy. Instead of deploying Mossad agents on the ground, the military sent 15 fighter jets that fired 10 missiles from a distance. According to Hamas, the attack missed its intended targets, including acting leader Khalil al-Hayya. Instead, relatives, aides, and even a Qatari officer were reportedly killed. In the aftermath, there are several questions that emerge. Why was Mossad unwilling to repeat tactics it has used before? Because just last year, remember, its operatives planted explosives in Tehran that killed Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh. So why not in Doha this time? Did Mossad cooperate with Qatari intelligence and absolve itself? Inside Israel, security officials have been questioning the timing of the attack as well, noting that Hamas representatives in Qatar were weighing on a proposal from US President Donald Trump, an exchange of Israeli hostages for a ceasefire in Gaza. That's when the attack occurred. Even IDF's top general, Ayal Zamir, objected to the timing of the strike for fear of derailing the negotiations. Netanyahu's allies defended the strike, pointing to a rare chance. Hamas leaders gathered in one place. A recent deadly attack in Jerusalem and Gaza demanded retaliation, but that explanation has not stopped the diplomatic backlash that followed. Now, Qatar has condemned the raid as state terrorism. It's accused Israel of sabotaging mediation efforts. And for Netanyahu, the strike may have allegedly served other purposes. Analysts suggest he may have been unhappy with some of the proposals in Trump's Gaza peace proposal. At home, he may also have sought distance from Qatar after reports surfaced of his aides receiving money linked to Doha. Now, during a meeting with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Netanyahu was asked if the assassination operation in Qatar was a failure. The Israeli Prime Minister declined to accept it. In his words, and I'm quoting here, "There is no safe place for terrorists." So where does this leave Israel? Did Mossad quietly coordinate with Qatari intelligence to avoid deeper fallout, or did it simply refuse to act on orders it believed to be reckless? One thing is certain. The shadow war between Israel, Hamas and Qatar is now in the open, and a lot of questions remain unanswered at this point. And the chill is coming. This time it's deeper. A powerful atmospheric event is gaining strength over the Pacific, and its chilling effects are set to sweep across the subcontinent. India braces for a harsh winter as La Nina takes hold. Experts warn, brace for icy winds, biting cold, and a season like no other. Take a look.
Bundle up, because India could be in for one of its coldest winters in years. Meteorologists say that the La Nina effect is set to dominate by year's end. A climate phenomenon known to push mercury down, trigger sharp winds and fuel a season of extremes. So what exactly is La Nina? In simple words, it's when the Pacific Ocean cools unusually, flipping weather patterns worldwide. Its counterpart is El Nino, when Pacific waters heat up, bringing scorching summers and weaker monsoons. But this time, La Nina is strengthening. Experts predict that by December, icy blasts could sweep through northern India, chilling the plains and even stretching into the heart of the Deccan. Cities like Delhi, Lucknow and Jaipur may witness prolonged cold waves. The warning comes after India has already seen unpredictable weather swings, searing heat waves, erratic rains and late monsoon. A biting La Nina winter could mean rising energy bills as heaters and geysers run non-stop, while vulnerable communities battle frost and health risks. Neighboring countries Nepal, Bhutan and parts of Pakistan are also on alert. Globally, La Nina winters have disrupted aviation, transport and food supplies. The last major spell in 2021 froze large swathes of North India and affected supply chains. This year, the signs are clear. The cold is coming, and India must brace for the bite of La Nina. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And the Pacific is heating up. America's Typhoon missile system has landed in Japan, and with it, Asia's arms race just got sharper, faster, more dangerous. The United States has quietly rolled out its Typhoon missile systems on Japanese soil, a weapon designed to strike fast, far and with precision. The missile has been deployed temporarily during the annual Resolute Dragon exercise. This two-week drill involves 20,000 Japanese and US troops, along with warships and missile batteries. This move sends shockwaves across Asia. The Typhoon is the land-based launcher. It can launch Tomahawk cruise missiles and SM-6 interceptors capable of hitting ships, aircraft, land targets hundreds of miles away. It has enough range to strike China's eastern seaboard or parts of Russia from Japan.
So we continuously train against multiple threats for our ADI series, but it's adversary agnostic. And so we train against the capabilities that this system is designed to go against. Aerial access, aerial denial systems is what we train against. We work through those in both a competitive environment, a constructive environment, and then deploying the system in a real tactical scenario. And that's what we train against.
Now, the system can move by road, be set up in hours and rain down firepower without warning. Analysts say it shrinks the response time in any conflict and pushes the region closer to a hair-trigger environment. For Washington and Tokyo, it's about deterrence. For rivals in Beijing and Pyongyang, it's escalation.
China always firmly opposes the US deploying the Typhoon intermediate range missile system in Asian countries. Deploying the intermediate range missile system in Japan will further harm other countries' legitimate security interests and pose a substantial threat to strategic security in the region.
All right, and Japan, already pouring billions of US dollars into defense, now stands at the front line of the great power contest. The Typhoon mobile and lethal plugs into America's wider Indo-Pacific strategy, encircling China's growing naval might and checking North Korea's unpredictable missile tests.